Hello everyone, I'd like to give you a tour of my apartment in Scuba. So here's the elevator. I'm up on the fifth floor. Um, and I've got this apartment complex has a little outdoor area, which isn't too nice in the winter, but I imagine people might hang out there in the summer, and a library and all sorts of stuff. So I'm up here on the fifth floor. We've got a view of that's Scuba City. Um, and This is my apartment. It has interesting feature that this light turns on when motion sensing, so that's pretty nice. And also the keyhole glows. So here's my apartment. We open the door, and we see right here on the right is my helmet for when there's earthquakes. In here is an area to have shoes. Um, because of course the entranceway is traditional Japanese style entranceway where you have to take your shoes off, and I think you're supposed to take them off facing backwards so you can put them on easy when you go to leave. But of course, uh, I always forget to do that. Um, okay, so immediately we have this little opening for a washing machine and some storage up there. But no dryer. You're supposed to hang dry your clothes. I have a little foldable table, which I'm probably going to just set up in the kitchen permanently since I don't really need the open space. I do need more preparation space for cooking. So, here's the kitchen. This uh, refrigerator is very big. It's to my middle of my chest, so that's my refrigerator. This microwave, you might think is a microwave, but it isn't. It's a microwave slash oven, which I've made the mistake of burning my hand on the plate that I put in there because even though it's microwave safe, it doesn't matter if the oven in there heats the entire thing up to 300 degrees. Um, got some storage space. Um, this interesting little thing looks, I believe I figured out is a broiler, but a broiler only. So it'll heat up just on top, so the flames underneath on top. Um, and some, vent, all that nice stuff. I have three trash cans because in Japan it's very important to um, recycle. So the first one there I'm going to use for combustible, then glass, then cans, which you have to keep separate. Um, but these are the largest trash cans I've been able to find so far. They're tiny, maybe 2, 3 liters. I'd really like a big trash can, but I haven't been able to find one yet. So then, right here on the left is the bathroom, which is the most fun room because it's got all these controls. So this one here actually controls the hot water for the entire apartment. So even doing dishes, you have to turn this on for there to be hot water, which I constantly forget and just think it takes forever for the for the water to get hot, and then um, eventually realize I'm an idiot. There's a bunch of controls on here. The only one that they've labeled for me is which is the water temperature, so I have no idea what these ones do. I'm hoping that there's some way to have it be a timer, so when I turn it on, it'll auto shut off after a while, because I keep forgetting to turn it off after I take a shower. Um, so yeah, but I don't really want to mess with it in case I end up with no hot water because that would be miserable here in the winter. And then this thing, which is really cool. So if we look in here, here's the bathroom. Um, and this will turn on a fan in there and it will last for an hour or so. Or I can turn on a vent. So it, for when you're taking a shower, you can turn the vent on and have all the moist air get out. Or heat if you want to heat the bathroom, which is pretty nice because I imagine it's going to get pretty cold here because Japan doesn't seem to believe in insulation. Or dry, which is the really interesting feature because I've been turning it on after my shower every morning and putting the towel hanging underneath the little drying bit. Um, Uh, but in general, I think you're supposed to use this to dry things in general because you can actually move this big bar and put it directly under the vent. And I think you're supposed to hang clothes there and dry them when it's winter and you can't dry things by hanging them outside. So that's pretty neat. The most important feature of a Japanese bathroom is this thing, which will let you have a bidet or something that sprays your posterior with hot water. And a stop button, and then of course how strong you want it to spray, which I have it set to max because when in Japan. Yeah, so I really think this little heating, drying fan thing is kind of neat. But I don't own a dryer, so I think that's what I'm gonna have to do now that it's winter. Um, but I don't own enough hangers to hang my clothes to dry them, so I'm gonna have to go buy hangers. Okay, so that's the kitchen and the bathroom. Let me turn the hot water back off and turn this dryer off. The kitchen has this, I could separate it, which I don't understand why I would need to do that. So here's my living room. Um, so there's my view and my desk area. A phone built into the wall, which I think just calls the apartment complex. A phone slash fax machine because Japan still thinks fax machines are important. I'm actually serious about that. Everyone uses fax machines. It's ridiculous. The internet has not come to Japan in a reasonable way. Nobody understands that the internet can be used for business. Um, yeah. So this was originally the television, which I was mounted here to be adjacent from the couch, but I moved it to use as a monitor temporarily for my computer until I get an actual computer. Um, so yeah, a reasonable amount of space. Oh, over here, um, the light switches, but this has a floor heating option which you can turn on and off. I have no idea what the other light is for. But that heats a little circular patch in the middle of the living room, just like a little small little circle there, which I think is because the Japanese people would sit with on the floor with like the table over them as like a makeshift. That there's a Japanese style table where you sit on the floor that has a heating element under it, but I think this is going to have a heating element from the floor, uh, which seems strange. I can't sit on the floor for that long, so I don't want to do that. I don't have space to store my suitcases, so I've just stashed them now behind the couch. This couch folds out into a bed-like thing. It doesn't really have a mattress in it, so I think you fold it out and then put like padding on it to use as a bed. Um, this is my view. If you look out there directly ahead, out my view is great because my apartment complex is oriented facing Mount Fuji. So luckily, I got one on the west, so I could actually see Fujisan by looking out here if it was a really clear day. It has to be very clear, but I've only seen it so far like on cold mornings, early in the morning. But you can see Fujisan, which is kind of nice. And then this rack for drying clothes. So let me open this up and look outside. Um, this is where you would go to smoke because everyone in Japan still smokes cigarettes. Um, it's not fully disconnected from the balcony with the person on over there, so let me give you a view. If we look down here, it's kind of nice. There are a few shops, and then some shop, and then 4 restaurants. So that's kind of nice. I haven't even tried all these restaurants yet. I've been to 3 of them, so I'll have to try the 4th one soon. Yeah, but this is the area of Tsukuba called Ninomiya. Okay, so this is now looking back inward at my apartment, and you see this paper wall off area, and that's the bedroom. So these open up uh, to reveal the bedroom, and there's a bed, I don't quite fit on it. I'm actually longer than the bed, even though I've been told this bed is bigger than normal Japanese beds because this is a apartment complex designed for foreigners. Well, I still don't fit on it, so my feet hang off the edge of it every night. Um, yeah, so I don't have very much closet space. This is my closet. So I've been putting clothes just up here, which clearly this is just some sort of generic storage. Probably would look a lot better if I put books on it. And a closet, which has a light that turns on uh, when you open it. So, yeah, that's my new apartment. Um, yeah, I will be living here for maybe 2 years. I have to live here for at least 3 months is what the contract is. But uh, after that, um, depending on whether or not I finally decide I need to move someplace that has a faster internet connection or a bed that I fit on. But the place seems pretty nice. Not particularly big, but it's actually probably large for a Japanese apartment. So, uh, yeah, hope you enjoy the tour of my new place I'm staying in. This is definitely designed for foreigners, so I don't know what would be different if um, I was living in a more traditional Japanese apartment. I think instead of a bed, you would have tatami, which are the like things made of bamboo, and you would just be sleeping on the floor with a what they call a futon, but is really just a piece of padding that they throw on the ground. Um, yeah, so hope you enjoyed my tour. I'll hopefully show you more of my life in Japan.